Welcome everybody. Welcome back to Kingdom Sports. I'm your host, C. Michael Stanley. I apologize for the break on last week, but we had no football on last week, and also I was out celebrating my lovely wife's 40th birthday. So we know we were turning up and had a great time. So I'm actually still in party mode. So we're getting ready for the Super Bowl party. Kingdom Sports and my church, Deeper Depths International Church. Our men's ministry is hosting the Super Bowl party on tomorrow. It's going to be over at our Mulberry campus. So those that are in West Polk County, East Hillsborough County, we're right near the county line of those two counties. So you guys are welcome to come out and fellowship with us. Calling all young men of God. You guys come on out. We're going to have a good time in the Lord watching the Super Bowl. Also at halftime, historically, we don't do a halftime show because there could be some things that could be offensive, especially for men of God. So we usually turn the TVs off during that time, and we take a moment of impartation. We take a moment of going into the Word, get into some men things, and helping us to get ready, for the remainder of the year. So that's something we have done historically. We even done something in the past where we taught all the men and young men how to tie a tie. So we can present ourselves when we go out into the work field, and also when we're running our businesses, to make sure we're presenting ourselves in a manner that we can be taken seriously. So we've done that in the past, and just we talk about natural things, spiritual things, but just imparting the men. So that's why be our halftime. So you guys are welcome to join us. We're gonna have some good food, got some meatballs, some wings. If anybody ever had my famous dip, they say it's a die for. I think it's just regular dip, honestly, but everybody enjoys it. So we're going to have the Super Bowl party. So let's get into the sports. My predictions for the conference championships, it seemed like they were going to come to pass. In one game, we had Detroit against the 49ers. I picked Detroit for the upset, and it looked like Detroit was going to pull that thing off. The first half looked like it was over, and I said, yeah, that's it for the Niners. They got bang. But then all of a sudden, things shifted. How many know it's not over till it's over? So, Detroit, they got a big lead, and they surrendered that lead and end up, ultimately losing that game. And just being honest, I was talking about the coach negatively at first. Then I started talking about him positively. But now I got to go back to a negative, take on him. I believe going forward on fourth down, as I said before, it was empowering to his team. But in those situations, we needed to get the points. And he not only did it once, but he did it twice. So he could have got the field goal in those situations, but he went for it on fourth down, and they failed. And if we look at it, that, it had a good bearing. I'm not going to say it cost him the game, but it had a good bearing on the outcome of the game. We'll put it that way. So definitely was a tale of two halves in both games. We'll look at the AFC Championship. Baltimore, came out, looks like they were a little nervous, a little sluggish. Kansas City put some points up, but then you got into the second half, and they were able to stop Kansas City from scoring, which was awesome. The defense did a great job of holding them at bay, but then Lamar Jackson and his team, he just won almost unanimous MVP, leading a great offense, and they were scoring close to 30 points a game, but they couldn't even get to 20. All they needed was 20 points to win that game, but they couldn't get to 20. And I think it was a lesson learned there. Lamar has definitely heard the critics, talking about his style of play, talking about he's not a traditional quarterback. But you won 2 MVPs not being a traditional quarterback. Don't change what has got you to where you are. You want to improve, you want to get better, but don't go from who God made you to be at the end of the day. God made you an athletic quarterback and an orthodox quarterback. You won games with it that way. So don't get in there and feel like you just got to stay in the pocket like that. Because there were moments in that game where he could have took off and ran, and it could have been very productive for them. But it seemed like he wanted to prove the critics wrong, and I think it really shot himself and his team in the foot. Be who you are. Be who you've been made to be. The Bible says we're fearfully and wonderfully made. So whoever God made you to be the best you. Be the best you. And I think a lot of times we, just in sports and life, we fail when we try to be somebody else. I'll say that again. We fail when we try to be somebody else. But we're successful when we can be the best us, the best version of ourselves. So Lamar failed. I hope he learns from that. I hope he comes back next season and provides some exciting football for us. So here we go. Super Bowl. We got the Niners against the Kansas City Chiefs. Both defenses are heralded I think the Niners have more offensive weapons, but then the Chiefs have Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, who have been known to do some creative things on that side of the ball as well. So I anticipate this being a great game. Historically, most Super Bowls aren't. Most Super Bowls are really blowouts, but I envision this being a great game. I'm going to root for the Chiefs. Let me put that out there. So anybody coming to the Super Bowl party tomorrow with us, I'm going to be wholeheartedly rooting for the Chiefs. But me doing this sports podcast and just looking at the tail of the tape, looking at the strengths and the weaknesses, I hate to say it, because you guys know I'm a Cowboys fan lifelong, and I hate to root for our nemesis, so I'm not going to root for them. But my pick is the 49ers. Yes, you didn't. It wasn't a mistake. You don't have to rewind it. My pick is the 49ers. I believe the 49ers are going to win the Super Bowl, ladies and gentlemen. I watched them come back in that game against Detroit. I watched Brock Purdy lead them back against Green Bay. I saw some wonderful things out of him. I saw some wonderful things out of the defense. It's a rematch of 4 years ago. You have a lot of players that's still on the 49ers that were young pups at the time. Now they're full-grown men. They're dogs now. And they didn't forget about that loss. And I believe they're going to take this game. The Kansas City Chiefs, they're actually a different team. So they actually have some young guys on their team now that hadn't experienced a loss. So I think the 49ers are more hungry. I think they're going to be more prepared. I think they're going to be ready to take it. And my pick, once again, is the 49ers. But I'm rooting for Kansas City. I'm rooting for Kansas City. I'm going to roll with Patty, my homie. I'm going to roll with Andy Reid. Well-respected coach, well-respected quarterback. We may be looking at one of the best quarterbacks to ever do it in Patrick Mahomes. So I'm going to root for the Chiefs. But again, my pick is the 49ers, believe it or not. I'm sorry, I had to say it. Cowboy fans, I said roll with the Cowboys, but I believe the 49ers are going to win this game. But I can't root for them. I will not root for the 49ers. Growing up, all my friends like the 49ers, so I can't like the same team you like, buddy. So that's when I started rolling with the Cowboys, coming up in the 90s. So those were the hot teams growing up. That's who we saw on TV. We saw the Cowboys and the Niners a lot on TV. So people had their pick, and I rolled with the Cowboys. I feel like the Cowboys just had a certain swagger to them back then, and I've been rolling with them ever since. So I've been a lifelong fan since I was a child. And I'll say this about the Cowboys, and I'll end it with this, and I'll share this with several people. I believe my Cowboys will win another championship before I leave this earth. So I believe that in my heart of hearts. I really do. So we'll get it done, Cowboy fans. Cowboy Nation, y'all stay strong. But we're going to have a good time at the Super Bowl party tomorrow. I will still have my Cowboy gear on, even though the team not there. But I'm going to let everybody in the building know I'm still a Cowboys fan. But I'll be rooting for the Chiefs on tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in to Keenan Sports Podcast. We'll be coming back. I'll probably take a couple weeks break. But I want to get ready for March Madness in college. College basketball is a little off. Women has been excellent. I've been enjoying the women's basketball. But the men's basketball, they don't really have the star power that it seems like in the teams. It's but we'll get into that in a few weeks as we get ready for March Madness. And then our next segments, we'll start talking about the NBA playoffs. So if you guys hang out there with me, I'll keep you guys posted once we start back up. So I'll take a few weeks off, and then we'll come back and get ready for March Madness. Love you guys. Thank you so much. Once again, this is your host, C. Michael Stanley, Keenan Sports, broadcasting from Keenan Speaks Network. Thank you so much.